Hello, YouTube. Robert Alvarez, the Psychic Witch, also known as Mr. Lighting and a Fan. The date is Tuesday, March 7th. Excuse me. The date is Tuesday, March 6th, 2018, and the time is approximately 8:32 p.m. Blessed be the power of the witch. I'm going to do things a little bit differently from now on, so to make my life easier, I'm going to talk to my awesome audiovisual person when I need to do so. I know that I'm not really supposed to do that, but it just makes my life a lot easier. So, am I in frame? Okay. For some reason, from my perspective, it looks like the camera is at an angle, but I am in frame. So, whatever. Anyway, so I would like to acknowledge a new YouTube channel subscriber of mine that I missed. Sunset Aura. What a beautiful username. Sunset Aura. I love it. I'm surprised that I missed that, but it happens. Infrequently, but it happens. Shout out to Gothica. Hello, Gothica. And believe it or not, tonight I am drinking tea. I want to show you the tea that I'm drinking. It's called Sweet Touch Ni. Now, I got to tell you, I keep looking at this, and I keep thinking I'm mispronouncing it, but it's written phonetically. Sweet Touch Ni. It is the aristocrat of teas. It is orange pico and pico cut black tea, and I'm having it a la promised land, meaning I have added milk and I have added honey. It's funny how, in spite of being a happily recovered Catholic, how much the Bible comes into my life. I must admit, this is the second cup of this I've made today. And believe it or not, I actually made it too sweet earlier, which is so crazy considering that I'm un gran dulcero. I have a major sweet tooth, so yes. And for some reason, now it's not sweet enough. I'm like, okay. So in this video, I want to talk a little bit about what's happening, what's going to be happening, a lot of other things. So first, as most of you know, for a variety of reasons, I had a really sucky birthday month. And January 2018 was very frustrating for me. I was in the hospital pretty much the middle to late of January because I had pneumonia. And I've been getting my birthday celebrating more so this month, and I have one thing that's pending, maybe two things pending for April. So I'm very excited about it. I'm also looking forward to the tarot and oracle card decks that I'm going to receive as gifts. And that leads me to something else, because I know that in some videos, most notably videos by Hermit's Cave, formerly known as Two Spirit, Jennifer Ball's Spiritual Garage, and others, every once in a while when I've watched some of those walkthrough deck videos, some people have commented, well, why do you have to have so many decks? Why can't you just be happy with the decks you have? Now, I'm going to talk about me, meaning that I'm only going to speak for myself. And for me personally, if I purchase a deck, whether it is a tarot deck, an oracle card deck, or a divination deck, it is because I'm divinely guided to do so. Not for any other reason. I will tell you that in 2017, I purchased one deck. It was a kit. It was a deck and book set, a kit. And it was the Everyday Witch Tarot. And it was funny because, no, last year was 2017. I stand corrected. It was actually January 2016 that I purchased a deck. And I was celebrating my birthday as well as the birthday of one of my favorite people on the planet, Shell from Swan of Dreamers. And we had gone to a Barnes & Noble bookseller store, because it just so happens that she loves Regency novels. So I said to her, well, you know what? I would be delighted to give you a Regency novel as an additional birthday and holiday gift. So I did. So, of course, since she's a professional intuitive and I'm Robert Alvarez, the Psychic Witch, we go through the metaphysical section, the New Age section. We're looking through the books and the decks, and I saw this deck. And I was like, the Everyday Witch Tarot? I haven't heard of this deck. Well, of course not, because it was published that same month and year. So, I bought it. I was like, well, this is my birthday gift for me. That was the only deck that I purchased. No, I stand corrected. It was January 2017. Oh, Lord have mercy. I'm going to get it together, YouTube, I promise. So, man, if I ever had a blooper reel, I'd have tons of footage. Isn't that right? My awesome audiovisual person agrees with me. So, yes, it was January 2017. Got that right now. Okay. So, yes. And, it was just so crazy. But that was the only deck that I gave myself last year. I didn't give myself any other tarot decks. I didn't give myself any oracle card decks, any divination decks. That was the only one. So, for me personally, it's not a matter of, well, I have to have this deck, or I want this deck, or I need this deck. It really is a matter of, well, I'm divinely guided. And I must admit, some of my most popular videos are my deck review videos. And the fact of the matter is that I love the fact that there are people that were considering a deck, on the fence about a deck. They did a search on YouTube, saw my deck review video, read the accompanying blog post, and they were like, you know what? I like this guy. He's honest. And I really feel like this is a clear and evident sign to buy this deck. It makes me happy. I don't receive kickbacks from the deck creator, from the deck publisher. I don't receive any of that. It would be nice, but it's not, it's not the focus for me. It's not like, oh, well, I'm short on the rent. Let me do a few deck review videos. That's not how I operate. It just isn't. It never has been. Yes, I love having money in my wallet. I love having money in my bank accounts. I love being able to pay my bills and financial obligations in full and on time. I love all of that. But, in spite of being Mr. Prosperity, I know that prosperity comes in different forms. But the one form of prosperity that I hear people complain about the most, and I hear people want the most, is money. And that's one of the reasons why my Divine Prosperity events are my most popular metaphysical class, and the one that has the most number of attendees. And that's been a consistent thing. That's been consistent since I began leading them. So yeah, so I really find that that's something that's very important for people. We live in a society where money is important. Believe me, I would love nothing more than to go to my rental management company and say, well, I'm ready to pay my rent by giving all the employees readings. I don't got it like that. I would love to be hooked up like that. I would love to be able to pay my rent by giving all the employees of the rental property, the property management company readings. I would love to be able to walk on a bus and have the bus driver say, well, you're Robert Alvarez, the Psychic Witch. You can ride for free. It's not like that, ladies and gentlemen. That's a fantasy. It's a lovely fantasy. But that's all it is. It's a fantasy. Now, I'm going to show you this. And I'm going to show you why I'm showing you this. First of all, this is the newest issue of Llewellyn's New Worlds of Mind and Spirit. This is the catalog magazine. And because I've ordered merchandise directly from Llewellyn Worldwide, they send this to me. Now, there is a deck that I want, and I will tell you why I want it. First of all, it is The Tarot in Wonderland by Barbara Moore and Eugene Smith. It is a 78-card tarot deck that comes with a 360-page full-color book. I love that Llewellyn has been creating tarot kits where the pages are in full color. I love that. I'm going to show you a little bit of it. And the reason why I love this deck. And why I want this deck is because, number one, although it is not the only although it is not the only Alice in Wonderland themed tarot deck, it is one that I find the most visually appealing. There is another Alice in Wonderland themed tarot deck, and I remember looking at images from the deck on eclectic.net, and I was like, it just didn't draw me. And I'm not a huge fan of Alice in Wonderland. I love it. But the other reason why I want to buy this deck is because in Manhattan, one of the boroughs of New York City, there is a chain of restaurants called Alice's Teacup. Those of you who love tea, this is the place for you. Those of you who live for drinking tea, this is the place for you. Because they have so many teas, they actually have a separate menu for the teas. That's how many teas they have. And that's not even including the fact that if you want a customized blend, they will make it for you. And all their cooking includes tea as an ingredient. One of my favorite sandwiches is this sandwich made with roasted chicken and Granny Smith apples. And they marinate the chicken, and I believe they also season the apple slices with tea. Now come on. Plus, the different locations are named chapters 1, 2, and 3. Chapter 1 is in the Upper West Side, not too far from Central Park, and chapters 2 and 3 are on the Upper East Side, which are two of my favorite sections of Manhattan. Having watched Gossip Girl, I'm more of an Upper East Sider lover than an Upper West Sider lover, but I do love the Upper West Side too. And I love the deck. I love the concept, and I do want to bring it to Alice's Teacup and have it on the table, and let's see what happens. But yeah, that's another story. So I definitely don't feel like I have to own every tarot and oracle card deck that exists. There are some that don't draw me. I gotta tell you, for years, I've heard people always talk to me about the Cosmic Tribe Tarot. It's a beautiful deck. It's a gorgeous tarot deck. And I love Stevie Postman's artwork. But the deck doesn't draw me. It's a beautiful deck. I love the fact that there are 3 lovers cards, one that depicts a man and a woman, one that depicts 2 men, one that depicts 2 women, but the whole deck doesn't draw me. I've lost count of how many people have raved and are still raving about the Wild Unknown Tarot. It is a beautiful tarot deck. It is visually appealing. It's very potent in its energy. Doesn't do anything for me. It's ironic because I know somebody who is a private tarot student of mine who uses that deck as his own personal tarot deck. And there have been times where he's done spreads. He's asked for my insights into the spread, and I'm looking at it like question marks are like jumping up and down in my head. And I have to go with traditional meanings, which is so rare for me because it is much more natural and much more frequent for me to go with my intuitive guidance, to interpret cards intuitively. And those of you that have had readings with me, you know that. It's like I will interpret cards intuitively and I will channel. When I'm giving this private tarot student of mine intuitive insights in his own spreads with the Wild Unknown Tarot, it's like I have to go with what I've learned from books because I don't get it any other way. Go figure. So with that being said, any deck that I receive, any deck that I give myself, it's because I'm divinely guided. Any deck that I receive as a gift, it's because I'm divinely guided to have that deck. I don't have a wish list on, let's say, Amazon.com or anything like that. But I have a small number of clients, students, and friends to whom I send a wish list of tarot decks and oracle card decks that I want, but don't have at that time. And it just so happens, since Capricorn is the 10th sign of the zodiac, I create the list and I limit it to 5 tarot decks and 5 oracle card decks. And interestingly enough, now that I think about it, I have never sent that tarot deck that tarot and oracle card deck wish list to more than 10 recipients. I always limit it to under 10. And I believe the 2017-2018 wish list I sent last October, and I think 6 or 7 people received it. So, yeah. Ironically, I have yet to receive any of those decks, which I must admit I find a little frustrating. Especially because, number one, I recently received some coupons from Barnes & Noble booksellers that expire on March 31st. And today is March 6th, so it's not like I have all the time in the world to use them. Plus, as most of you know, I am having the surgery that I was originally going to have in January on March 15th, which means that if you have not already scheduled a session with me, you have until Saturday, March 10th, 2018 to do so and to have said session. After that, I will not be available again until Monday, April 2nd, 2018. Granted, it's not a lengthy period of time, but it is a bit substantial, because I normally don't make myself unavailable for more than 3 days, never mind 2.5 to 3 weeks. And that's mainly because of the surgery and recovering from the surgery, etc. Now, if you have not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, the YouTube channel of yours truly, Robert Alvarez, the Psychic Witch, I absolutely invite you to do so. Make sure that you click or tap the bell, and periodically check to make sure that your bell is still clicked or tapped. Sometimes YouTube unclicks or untaps the bell on behalf of a YouTube subscriber. I don't know why. I don't know. I really don't know why. Because if you haven't received the notification that I uploaded a video, then that means you've probably missed a lot of videos. Especially since, as of right now, there are roughly 220 videos on my YouTube channel. And I know that there are 4 more that have yet to be uploaded. And tonight I'm recording 3, maybe 4. So you do the math. But in the meantime, YouTube, thank you so much for honoring who I am and what I do. I'm going to attempt to finish the rest of this tea. I might need to add some sugar to it to make it easier. We'll see what happens. But I wish you a beautiful evening, and I wish you many, many blessings.